Hey friends, welcome back to another video. We're sitting at 107 at the moment, so still no C dollars sitting. But what we're going to do is probably play for about 2 hours session. It's about 5:45 p.m. here, so we're going to get an hour and 15 before the end of the day. So I don't think we're going to be getting much of the leaderboard, but hopefully we can get a little bit of the big blinds, just to some of the blinds to actually get to the daily flip out, but hopefully not at the cost of losing hands. But yeah, anyway, nice to see a fold from the small blind. Alright, got a 3-bet queen 10. Alright, got a bluff. He showed weakness twice, so might as well take it. He's going all in. I'm just going to fold. There's no point calling with queen 10 suited. It's just going to be a flip, but if he's got aces or kings, we'll need a lot of help when he pretty much diamonds, or queen on the board. But hopefully everyone's going pretty well. Good call. He's gonna probably overcards a lot of the time, so we should have some fresh cards. Got bottom pair with 6-5. Okay, bet this one lead out hits our range. We were hoping to see a 6 or a 5, but no, unfortunately not. Just going to fold out there. Alright, we'll fold ace-3. We could have maybe went for a check raise, but we decided not to. Anyway, we're not going to try and get too fancy. I mean, just playing boring poker is good enough actually at this level. And that's like half our problem at the moment, is just that because we've been trying different things at the moment. Just definitely been over bluffing and just getting carried away, but at the same time we're still learning different spots. That's not the worst thing in the world. Gotta call 11 cents. What I have learned about that 11 cents, so typically what they do is when everyone seems to see bet their entire range, they'll go for like a 30%, 25 to a 33% C bet. So it could be strong, it could be weak. It's just, and what it does is people with sets or two pairs typically aren't happy with that low bet. So what happens is people with two pairs or better will raise, and then they'll know that they've got two pair or set, and then they'll just fold. So it pretty much just protects them, and they don't make as much money when it comes to if you've got ace king in top pair. Then hands like ace queen, ace jack, you're going to lose value on. You're going to see a lot of the times where we actually do make quite a bit with ace king, even ace queen, even ace jack. Sometimes pretty good. But yeah, that's the whole theory behind C betting only 30% typically. I'm going to continue betting. The only hand we're really scared of is ace king. Hopefully, ace jack, ace 10. All that's going to keep continuing. I'm just going to keep piling on. He's got ace king, he's going to shove. He's got ace jack. Typically, that's what I said I was aiming for. If you go check there on the turn, on the flop, you're going to lose some value there. So, all right, going to call 3 sands, trying to spike a 7. If we spike a 7, it makes it so much easier. Then we don't know. Let's check here. We might check behind with ace queen, ace jack, or an ace 8 hand. Gonna fold king queen out of position. Okay, king 10. He's in the big blind, so he's capped. His range is capped, so he's not gonna have a strong king. He'll definitely test me though. Like maybe he's got like a hand like queen jack, or he could have a monster draw there, and if that's the case, then we're just really hoping to get a 7, and then him missing all the draws. But see, the jack came in anyway, so there's a high chance that he's going to get a straight anyway. And sometimes that's the reason why he can fold out top pair, or on the flop when people do those bets. But then you got to realize, are they actually drawing or not? And then, or If it's a dry board, do they just have 2 pair? I got a gut shot, and we don't have much showdown value. Continue the aggression, try and get some folds on the way. Because if he calls and we get a 5, you know, we can, like this, we can just continue to keep betting and go from there. I don't think, you know, and you think, oh, maybe I bet too big. But if he had ace queen, he's calling. If he's got a set, he's probably calling. If he's got 2 pair, he's probably calling. Some people get awfully sticky with those type of hands. So never underestimate, you know, the bet on the river. You see me make plenty of bad calls on the river, so it's valid. Okay, ace 10, 43%. We're gonna go for a full bet. Light full bet, hopefully get a fold. Alright, he's capped, but we're just gonna bet here. Let's bluff. I'm not gonna like it. Oh, he folded. Whew. We've got a triple barrel too. Alright, we've got away with that one. Not sure what he had. Alright, king 10's here. Hold it up. Probably, I don't even think an 8. An 8 would probably call there, so I don't know if he's probably got 2 overcards he's missed. Alright, queenies. King 9 with the fold, small blind. Relatively going well from the small blind. This is probably my main focus now this week is going to be watching some more videos on small blinds and just really concentrating on what ranges, you know, what hands we're actually going to be playing from the small blind. Typically what I've learnt so far in the small blind is when you're playing tournaments it's a bit different. So when you're playing like when you're playing like when you're playing cash, you've got the rake and all that stuff, so you should be playing much tighter. But when you're playing like tournaments, you should be calling a lot more. So when you're playing a little bit more, when you're playing tighter, you should be playing 3-bet or fold scenario in the cash games. But in tournaments, you should be adding in some calling range as well. So it's not gonna be much different, but hands like offsuit hands should be, you know, cold calling a little bit more. So hopefully that helps. So, you know, queen 10 offsuit probably should be cold calling. You know, suited connectors 3-betting. You sort of get the drift. I'm gonna fold, but if I call there, I would want CLS to fold as well. Unfortunately, that would have been a great hand. Alright, let's go check here with second pair. Can open up king 9. Could have the best hand. It's a little bit, might actually call a bet here. Don't really, we have a bit of showdown value, but we're not extremely happy with the situation. Call 6 cents, and then probably just check here. I don't think we can, if he checks to us, I don't think we can bet. Alright, 10s are gone. We're hoping for a spade actually for 10s. Do I hero call? I'm gonna hero call. Alright, so it didn't really make sense. He didn't bet the turn. There was a lot of draws coming out. Wasn't defending the hand. Plus, the board had paired up, so it's a lot harder for him to hit the board. This hand kings, we're just gonna go all the way. We don't care. If he's hit his hit, doesn't really. It's a nice little sneaky one with kings. But yeah, we called because the board paired up. It was such a low board. What else was the reason? It was a single raised pot, so that was silly. But at the same time, check, check, check. Bets on the turn, 6 cents. That wasn't really much. And then, yeah, bets 18 cents. So he was setting up for a bluff, but the board hadn't really changed that much. So from when he bet the turn, he was probably trying to rep a 6. Alright, I'm going to fold. Could almost argue to call there, but yeah, lucky enough. Yeah, 8-8. Attacking cutoff. Need to really concentrate what I'm doing. So this scenario, from the small blind as well, is another scenario where we'd be looking at. But alright, so small blind calls. He goes all in. I think I'm just calling here. We've got position. He just called as well, so it's not like he's got a tight range unless he's trapping. We can just shove here. Alright, second pair with ace jack. Oh wow. Drawing dead. As soon as the jack come out, drawing dead. It's not the worst thing in the world, but it's also not the greatest thing to happen. But pocket 8's hitting an 8, so be it. Alright, over shoves. Just can't call that one. Yeah, it sounds pretty much a pretty tough one there. When it was we jammed, the board hadn't paired up anyway. The queen plays as well, so he still had an overcard, so it wasn't the worst. It was only until, you know, the board paired up, it was dead, but... And it's not every day he's just going to have a set there either. Because it was pre-flop as well. So you could pretty much have, you know... You could pretty much have overcards and miss, or, you know, even... pocket 7s and miss the set. And then we have a better chance of winning. So it was just a pure chance pretty much that he won that hand. Ace 5. Gonna call ace 5. Alright, gonna go for a value bet. Not gonna miss value there on the river. Ace 5, the other one's missing. Just gonna fold that one. If they were diamonds, I'd probably call, but back street. Or backdoor flush kind of thing. Just gonna fold 5-2. It's really no point calling in a multi-way pot, trash hands. Especially in the small blind. There's a misclick. 2 cents. Been doing a few misclicks lately. Okay. Alright, let's bet. Full pot. Alright, he just folds anyway. So I missed a bit of value there, pre-flop. Probably a couple cents. Alright, I'm going to call if we hit the 2, it doesn't complete straights. Also, we do have the red heart, so any 2 is not poisoned. The other 2s aren't poisoned, so it's good. Alright, it's going to fold. Sixes, set mine. Looks beautiful, but at the same time, unless we get a 4 diamonds and 7 diamonds, it's not going to be great. Alright, we're going to try and pinch it. It's going to be a lot harder for our opponents to hit. Alright, we'll call here, but now we're just losing. That would have been a nice hand. Okay, just put our opponent in a bad spot. That's why I don't play in the small blind. because the button just runs all over you, and they don't even have to have anything. It's just hard to play out of position. Okay, we're gonna call him off. We'll snap call whatever he's doing. Alright, we'll value bet here, just 4 cents. Doesn't say much, but it does add up. Alright, aces continue. Alright, we'll bet one more. Hoping to get a king. You know, king queen, you know, king jack or something like that. Call. Maybe even pocket queens get a little bit sticky sometimes. We bet quite big though. Okay, tens. Alright, we'll 3-bet tens. We got 9, pretty much there's $10 behind us now. But remember, we can just easily use the cashback. So it's not the end. We're just trying not to. Alright, so if he's got a king or a queen, he's got the better hand. We could probably bet the turn, maybe. Ben's saying that. Now, he's done a good bet if he's... You know, if he's actually got just a bluff. He's got lower than, no card than 10. But if he's got like a king or, you know, a Broadway, then he's doing quite well. We can't beat that. Alright, we've got top pair. Alright, we got trips. Yeah, 7. Alright, so you got some good value against the 7-2. Just by checking. So that's one of the new things that we do out of position. Is going to a more of a check passive style, because people sort of misbehave against checks, and also you get to keep the pot quite low, because when you do bet, they can always raise you and the pot just blows up, and when you're out of position, things get out of hand very quick. Where when you check call, you can keep, it sounds bad, but you actually keep the hand quite low, and also you protect your checking range when you have top pair in your hand. Yeah, you can still bet with top pair, top kicker, and you know, get some decent value, but when you've got like top pair, good kicker, it's probably better if you you know, go in a check call scenario, and then they can overvalue their hands that don't beat yours, and then they don't know where their hand lies, and that means it's a lot harder for you to be bluffed. So they'll try and bluff you, and you can just snap call pretty much everything. Should be a chop. Yeah, a chop. So that's another reason why it just, you know, it just protects your checking range. Because a thinking player, see they see you check, oh, you mustn't have a good hand, I'll bet. That's why when you have the ace on the board and you got pocket kings, you know, that's a scenario where you're gonna have a better hand. In this scenario, we've got top pair and we're in a bit of trouble because if another club comes out, we're pretty much drawing dead. So we just need to try and win the hand early because we can't make it to the river. So not all hands, not all top pairs are created equal. Alright, eights, just at risk. I don't want anyone to go all in. He'll probably go all in. They seem to always like doing so on these tables. Although I could probably call it and they could just have king jack. It feels like they just go all in with king jack anyway. Alright, 8, didn't get the 8 that I wanted, pocket 8s. So unfortunately, just gonna fold that one. Alright, four's gonna call. Alright, got trips. Multi-way pot. It's better. Don't have to bet too big. If both players call, then that's 15 cents. Alright, we'll go a little bit larger now since it's one player. In position, Queen 4, we'll call it. No heart, unfortunately. It was backdoor, but we didn't get there anyway, so we just folded. Alright. Eights, go bet. And the big blind. Yeah, if he 3-bet us, we were out of position, but at the same time, if we call, we're just trying to aim for an 8, and then the pot's already blown up a little bit, so the set should be able to get stacks in. If he's got like an ace-king hand, then, you know, got ace 8 on the board at least. Alright, this is quite a dead board, so we're going to bet it. We're going to c-bet this one. If he's got a jack, he's calling, but ace-queen, ace-10, you know, even pocket 3s, 2s, he's going to be probably folding a lot. Alright, so we've got an open ender, but if we hit a jack, we've got the queen. So if he's got the jack, he's pretty much going to have a lot of straight. Alright, we'll bet here again. We've got the straight here, but we're hoping to get the jack. And lucky he didn't actually have the spade either. King jack missed. Sevens, I'm gonna call. Alright, I'm gonna squeeze queen 8, it's a bit wide though. Not really sure what they're doing. I'm going to try and bluff it. No one's shown anything. I'm going to bet here. Oh, we've got a gut shot. Good to see a fold. Got to call 2 cents. We can't fold there. Queen 8. Looking at just a 10. If we can still hit though, still pretty close. Okay, that's not a great card for us. Yeah, unfortunately missed. Alright, 4s. Gut shot with 4-2 with no shadow value, so just try and get a fold. Alright, ace 8's gone. 13 cents, I'm gonna call. Got a gut shot, but flushes out. Alright, all in. What's with the players going all in today? It's probably not a bad thing, but we just need to have a better hand. Okay, hopefully he just checks behind and we see what he's got, but feels like a check. Ace jack. Alright, so pocket 4s survive. Alright, king 9, just get a 3-bet bluff. Put some pressure on our small blind. Alright, just gonna bluff this one out. Alright, nice. Remember, he's got ace 10 or something like that, or he's got air. It's a lot harder to call than to bet. Trying to get that 8. Hopefully he checks, then we get the free card. Alright, folding. For someone that said they weren't going to bluff a lot, we've done some pure air bluffs at the moment. But in my defense, they've worked, but at the same time, we need to make sure that we don't overdo it. Because just because it works a couple times, you know, you can get carried away. Alright, fold some aces. Or ace top hands. Alright, king 9. Scenario where we get a 3-bet. If we don't 3-bet, big blind gets in there. Okay, get a call. Since we have position, could be quite interesting. Alright, let's get a call here. Alright, try and bluff. Worked last time. 7-3. So just purely using position. As you can see, that's the reason why it's so hard to play from the small blind when they call you down. You just don't know where you're at, and unless you have a strong hand, it's the reason why sometimes people say is you're just playing premium pairs. Got a gut shot here. If he bets again, we're folding, but if he checks here, we're betting, and then we've got a gut shot, so it's not like we're dead to the world either. Yeah, folding ace queen there. Okay. Just checking here. Hopefully he's got ace king or ace jack. Okay, he's got a flush. He's got the worst of it. The worst possible hand that we didn't want him to have. But, you know, we still had a chance. Alright, just get a shovel in. We've got the straight. We might have a set. Alright, so this was the other way around. So that was $1.76. What was the other hand that we lost on? So it was $1.82. So, but also we've won with the other hand as well. So it's gonna be quite tight. It's gonna be such a battle. The small blind, big blind battle. Since we're in position, we'll call. The other day, Jack 9 suited did pretty well. Also, we've got an open ender as well. And again, just position. Plus, we had an open ender. So if he calls, if a king comes out, unless he's got ace king, we're in dire straits. Alright, so the bluffing continues, not by choice, but the opportunities have been there, so we've got to take them. Alright, got a set, we've got a bet it. You might call. Okay, pocket sixes, we'll take that. Not much of a hand that he called with, so anything, the lower the hand they call with, think of it this way, it's actually a bonus. You know, if you've got like, you've got aces, they're called with kings, it's pretty tight. But if you've got like, you know, if you've got a hand, you know, trip aces and they're called with pocket twos, it's not tight. Alright, bluffing here with the ace queen. Just going to continue. The bluffing continues. Alright, I didn't even mean it, but the bluffing continues. I'm going to be aggressive, playing from the small blind. Alright, We're folding Jack 10. We have a good chance. But the board's been pretty low with Ace Queen. You know, we beat Ace Jack, we beat Ace Jack, Ace 10, all the 8, like Ace 7 and all that stuff. You know, if he's got small pocket pairs, you might think that we're an overpair. There is a whole lot of nothing in his range. Obviously, he has to fold. It would be funny if he calls and we got the best hand as well. He's got to be very careful. Alright, I got a book. He's folding pretty much everything, so. Lucky to get a 4 cents call. Oh, we got a 4 cent call. So with a 10, so that's a bonus. If we bet previously on the turn to try and build the pot, he's just going to fold. So that just adds to the win rate. 3 bet against the cutoff. Oh, why always me? That guy again. We've got a lot of hands against him already. You see him every day, pretty much. Okay, got second pair here. I'm going to snap it off, but you could have a 5. Oh, he's got 2 pair. Alright. So, cheeky enough, he actually bet us. Ooh, 8-5, damn it. It actually was a good board for 8-5. We're all over it. But on average, it's probably not a great hand to call. Alright, aces. Not doing too bad considering we haven't had that many monsters. We've just created bluff spots. We've just taken the opportunities of bluffing. So, yeah. Hopefully now we can start winning some hands. I'm going to bet this one. He's probably going to fold a lot though. Alright, we'll get the free card. Doesn't go away. I'm going to call 1. Calling 4s, only for the fact that it doesn't complete. King 7's missed, unfortunately. We didn't bluff this one out actually, so kudos to us controlling ourselves. I mean, he's either going to have the queen or, you know, probably a pocket pair if he's betting there. Alright, got some back streets. Check raising this one. Okay, got some really semi-bluffing here, but we have a lot of equity on the turn. And then you can actually bet on the river, on scary board rivers as well. Not necessarily ones we always hit. So I say when the board pairs up, it's a good opportunity to bet as well. Another one for kings. In position, but the board's terrible. Just gonna fold that one out. If you're gonna call 3 bet, better have some type of plan. Here you're gonna play the hand. Okay, this just hits his range. It really doesn't really affect us at all. Yeah, 6s. Even if you bet, he'd probably call as well. Not saying 100%, but it looks like, you know, pocket 6s will call there. Alright, I'm gonna fold. Board hadn't paired up before that, so we couldn't actually get a full book. Flush was already out there, straights were probably already out there, so probably best that we just exit. Needing the board to pair up. Scary board, you know. We've shown with over pairs. I mean, It just says fold pretty much. But mind you, we've had aces before, and we're just convinced ourselves we've got the best hand in a no hope scenario with a board similar probably to that. We've all been there. Under the gun, tight range, gonna fold. Although respecting the stats too much into an L is an issue as well. Because just because everyone's got decent looking stats, everyone looks like but obviously they're not that great of a player or they'd be moving up. So the only stat I'd be looking at personally is the stealing stat. Alright, got trips here. Oh, I'll get a jam. Oh no, we're not. We just got a small bet. We've got a book. Alright, it calls. Beautiful. Alright, we'll lead out. We've got top pair. Need to end this hand. Stop the overcards from coming in. It goes all in. Probably should have just called pre-flop. Alright, ace 8, nice hands. It's only a marginal hand because you only got top pair. When you're going for ace 8 suited, you really want the flush. Probably could have folded out of position. We'll go for a bluff just in case, but he didn't bet the flop, so Queen Jack does hit our range a little bit, so why not? He could be betting with tens. Scary board for ace king. So we'll go into a check call scenario. Keep the pot quite low. He hasn't done too much. There is a 10 out there, but we're just going to value bet and see if he just calls. Don't know, he didn't call. We'll try and just get a simple call, and then if he raised us, probably folding. I mean, there is a scenario where if you do a value bet and someone raises you over the top, you could probably snap call because they haven't showed strength. Their hand doesn't make sense, but sometimes when their hand doesn't make sense, they've got some funky straight. So that has happened a few times. So always keep an eye on, is there any weird straights they could have? Is it a single raised pot and in the big blind? There's some reasons why they've got random, just any two hands. So things you need to remember when worrying about if someone's going to raise you. Alright, got aces. Gonna raise it. Yeah, it's going to go for value, hopefully. Yeah, let's continue betting, why not? Alright, hopefully we're safe. No. Yeah, unfortunately, no. Who don't typically have aces, kings or queens in that spot? Just gotta fold. The greedy bet. Anyway. Really should just fold that one. Also, if you have a look at the hand too, it's somewhat a dry board as well, which means that they're probably generally gonna have set. When it's a wet board, like, two Broadways and they're suited, they're gonna have something, so they're gonna have a lot of draws in their hand. But in that scenario, there's not many draws in the hand, so that makes it should have been an easy fold. They're either gonna have a set. I don't think kings raise there, so it's a scenario where you pretty much just gotta go into a you know, a bet fold scenario. They'll call you down with worse hands, but then when they have a better hand, they will raise. But mind you, some people might actually do it with kings. They might actually raise all in the kings, hoping you got queens or jacks. So calling with the aces isn't probably the worst in the world. Calling there with, you know, pocket jacks or tens or queens or something like that, you know, typically will be the worst thing in the world. But you gotta be beat there a lot of the time. But at least with with aces, you've actually, you know, you beat over pairs that are trying to overcommit. Okay. We could probably get someone with ace king to fold without a club, which means we can possibly bluff here. But yeah, alright. We're just gonna fold anyway. He's probably thinking the same thing, but he could have 2 clubs and he beats us, so that's how tragic it is. Alright, so you got 820. Still in okay shape considering, but wish we didn't lose the $2.50 on that table. I guess that's where the 30% C bet does happen. And then you just like 60% bet, you know, turn the river. And if you get raised on, you just fold. It's actually a good board for us. Alright, I'm gonna check raise. Because the diamond comes out, we can barrel that as well. You know, and let's just say we could definitely add some equity here. Well, look at this one now. See, we've got equity. Probably overcards work as well. If he's got a 6 though, he might get us out the hand. And yeah, he folds. And if you call it weird, it's still out of club draw. Maybe any ace or king. Wins the hand as well. Alright, so just over half an hour to go for the end of the poker day. And then what we'll try and do is try and play a little bit over. We'll play for about half an hour over the poker day, and then we'll try and get, try and sneak in an hour for tomorrow as well, and then just accumulate some points there. Alright, so ace jack. Okay, you've got top pair here. So check call scenario. Goes all in. I'm just I'm gonna call only because I'm probably beat. I just want to see. It actually made no sense at all. Okay, so I guess the only sense that makes is that he thought we were capped and would fold. So think of it this way: if you're capped and they shove, are they gonna bluff you? In this case, yes. Oh no. I got a bet here. Got some good turns coming our way. That wasn't it, and the river definitely didn't help. Alright, 10-8. Alright, I'm gonna fold. 10-8 really doesn't help us. It's no backdoor flush, plus even if a 9 comes... Oh, I guess a 9 comes out. But the problem is we don't have any overcards. So our cards don't really count. Unless they've totally got air. So I think folding there is best. At least have one overcard. 9-2, why are we calling? Because our hand doesn't actually really matter when you're playing out in position. If he's got pocket 10s, he's in trouble. He might think he's in trouble. So if he checks there, we can go for a stab and try and steal the pot. But when he bets again, he's not falling for anything. He's definitely got something. And I guess when you that guy that's shoved all in, I mean, it just looks like he wants me to fold. Like he knows that I've got a lot of probably air in my range. I'm capped. Because I checked behind, like I called behind. Oh, I checked behind on the flop. He thinks I'm capped straight away immediately. So then, yeah, he just thinks I'm going to fold out a lot. And maybe even pocket 2's there if I call. Get the cash out. Single, playing heads up here. Gut shot, backdoor flush. Alright, I'm going to bet this one. Okay, still got the 10, still got the spade. Alright, it's going to bet it. Hope for the best. Alright, ace-8's gone. Alright, we got 10s. Jack-8 offsuit. Not great, but on the button, you got to open up quite wide on the button. Alright, so he's bet. This guy looks like he has no idea what he's doing. So we'll just fold. Because you don't know what the early position's going to do. Alright, 3 betting ace-10. In position, queen-jack. Value bet a6. Alright, we're going to call just the fact that we can get a lot of good turn cards. Might actually slow down here. Alright, I'm going to fold. He's probably got overpair like aces or kings. But if a queen come out or, you know, we had a few cards heading our way. Perhaps we could have called. If you think he's bluffing, totally bluffing, then we're definitely, yeah, you're definitely calling there. We did have a pair. Just check behind. We do have the ace of clubs, so we could probably bluff here. We'll show the ace. So today's all about bluffing. Queen 10 just folding. Although I want to call. I want to start playing more with Queen 10 suited, but in saying that, it's risky business. But like I said in one of the other videos, Queen 10 is pretty good because if it's straight, all the hands like Ace, King, Jack, you know, a lot of opponents will have 2 pair. and you'll get paid for your straight. And it's deceived. I'm going to call the evades. Don't have a heart though. Alright, fold. Looks like he's just milking. If not, he might even have a fall. Go for the steal, check 8. Big bet. I'm just going to fold let go of the top pair. Scare card will bet. Alright, Jack's out of position, get a raise. We just really want a spade. Quite deep stacked as well. Yeah, unfortunately don't have anything here though. It's probably got like a pocket pair. Yeah. So it's going to be hard for him to fold that. Yeah, it's very hard to fold. But yeah, in saying that, if we had pocket eights and our opponent raised, you know, it's the type of board you should actually call. Multi-way pot, just got to be a little bit careful here. Alright, we'll go for value. Got an open ender, we'll call it 10 cents. It's the open ender, but the board's quite low. Bets into us will fold, but if he doesn't bet, we'll try and get him off the hand. Alright, getting free cards, but it's just not hitting. Alright, open ender, but the flush is there. Alright, we'll bluff. He calls, we fell for it. It's actually a bad hand. So we could have actually saved, yeah, 37 cents there. Whoops. Yeah, so that's one for the bluffing. Alright, top pair. Happy to get a fold. Now if a 9 comes on the turn, it doesn't overly change too much, because if he's got a straight or a set, you know, he's already way in front. So we've got 764. Alright, so we can call in position, but it's not great hand. Queen 10 get a bet. Alright, such a low bet. I'm just going to shove. We're going to play variance. Oh wow. That's like the worst card to have. Drawing dead. We just needed queen, but yeah, drawing dead. Okay. Back on my head, queen 9 suited didn't seem like a great hand. To actually do that. Because we didn't have one over as well. But in saying that, they did have the worst hand to run into. Because you just dominated in every sense possible. Scare card. I'm supposed to call. Alright, two bluffs gone. Pretty bad. Running close to session, but oh. Alright, so the bluff here worked. Low board. Multi-way pot, no good. Alright, nines. Oh, we've got jacks now. Alright, playing aggressive nines. Dead board. It's pretty easy for our opponent to miss, but just gotta remember those nasty spots. Don't shove with no overcards, obviously. It's a pretty easy rule. Trying to spike an ace, you might have kings or queens. If he checks here, we could probably bluff the river, like to a brick, because it means he might have ace king that we lose to. In saying that, when we called, there was a 4 card straight out there. Could you actually put that into, you know, when you're actually bluffing, can you actually put that in consideration? So if that comes out a 4 card, and obviously they've got like an overpair and it's a scary board, could you run and bluff on that? Need a 5. Alright, so bet and shouldn't have bet anymore. Should have bet the flop and that was it. Alright, gonna fold. Might seem pretty silly this session, but at the same time we're sort of getting our hands dirty with you know, that bluffing type what not to do. Alright, no queen. Yeah, so we missed the straight, that's the point there. Here we've got top pair, but we've got a flush, and we've got an over. Now we've got an over card as well, so we can shove, and this is a lot different to queen 9. So we've still got over 50%. It's so much different. Have a look, see? It's so much different. We're not running hard, actually. That guy has no idea the pain we've gone through. But yeah, so much different, and it's the nut flush as well. So nut flush has got to dominate lesser flush draws. Also, we already hit, so you know, hands that have got pairs and sort of thing with the big draw, he's gonna have a lot of equity. Because the board triples up, we're doing pretty good as well. I'm gonna value bet, but we're not happy. we calling? Are we calling? No. But it was good to see the value bet on the other hand worked pretty well for us. So we're down to 4. But don't forget we've got money here on the table now. So 8, 10, 13.50. So pretty much, let's just say 16, I think. We had some back flush, but we hit the queen. We'll value bet. He's going to raise with the king though. He might call with pocket. He might call with an ace. Hopefully he calls with an ace. I don't know why he'd call there, but okay. Because even an ace beats that guy. So maybe he just didn't think of, you know, maybe he thought his threes actually played a part. And an ace on its own beats that hand, so I don't really get why he did that. Oh, wait a sec. Wait a sec. Does it? Oh, actually it doesn't. Alright, so he's actually alright. No, so he's actually alright. If I didn't actually have a queen or a king, he wins the hand. Because he's got a full house. That's the only reason. So, okay, what he did was just fine. I mean, it's bluff catching at its best. I mean, if I just had an ace on its own, like a naked ace, then he's just done a massive call, like a really good call. And typically, he could go for thin value. If I check there, it's very thin. But it's possible I have thin value in that hand. I'm going to call just for the fact that, you know, this happens. But we're trying to play to the river. Oh, it's just not that hand. Alright, it's a shame. Probably could have bluffed that one. But now, no. He's probably got a jack. It's a split. Alright, we'll bet. Actually, we'll go check. Alright, we'll bet a little bit. See if we can get some value. He calls. Alright, pocket eights. Happy to see a call with eights. I mean, it doesn't feel like much doing those little bets. It doesn't feel like much because we're doing a lot of. We've done a couple of silly bluffs that, you know, we've probably lost a couple of buy-ins. So it doesn't feel like much, but could you imagine, you know, we've done a few, yeah, again, we're trying to go for it again, but this time he's got us. But yeah, just imagine without doing those little value bets, how down we'd be. So they do count for something. Alright, kings win pre-flop. So 4, 8, 12. So we got 17. So considering some of the hands that we've lost, we're down about, you know, $2. Oh, we've hit the leaderboard with 11 minutes to go. So we might get 20 cents or maybe 30 cents, depending. I gotta check raise here and try and bluff him off the hand. Also got another diamond comes out with a barrel. Yeah, even a 3 is not too bad because then the 4 comes out, we get straight. Ace King is a nasty little looking hand, this one. And Jack wins the hand. Alright, just gonna value bet. Pretty risky, but we're gonna do it. 9-8 calls? What the heck? Pocket Kings. So he played everything right, he just didn't do the value bet on the river. Not that we were calling, but he should always... You play Pocket Kings that way, but you should value bet on the river. Because, you know, Pocket Queens, Pocket Jacks, you know, a 10, they all might call the Kings. Okay, this is our range, doesn't he? His. We've got a gut shot too. Might be in trouble though. We'll call the 4 cents. He bets himself. We'll fold. We did hit, but we had the ace of hearts. Maybe we could bluff, but the board had paired up, so we might not have. You know, we're not probably not bluffing the best hand. So you want to be bluffing the nuts at least. Okay, he's 3-bet us. We're gonna 4-bet. Okay, he's gonna have the ace, isn't he? Okay, 3 bets. So many hands. Let's call. Miss the ace, miss the ace. Okay, got him with the... Someone played 11,000 hands against. Maybe he's a bot. Although it means we've played that many hands too against him, so we're not a bot, so... One for Queens one. So if you ever think Queens never win pre-flop, you're highly mistaken. Probably bet a little bit too high. Okay, Queens win again. Queens are a good hand pre-flop. Yeah, Ace King. Just, I'll probably bet a little bit too sharp, to be fair. 60 cents. And I was going to be in position as well. You know, I should have probably bet just 44 or something like that. There was another person in the pot though, but being in position. Although, what's that in position? So he raised the 8. He raised the 18. Oh, he's in the cutoff. He's in the small blind. Okay. We could have probably just flat, to be fair. We could have probably just flat there. Alright, we'll bluff this one. He was in position. King 10, need a jack. Need another diamond as well. Alright, beautiful. Bets here we can just shove. Actually, no, I can't shove. We're actually deep stacked. So ignore that. It means he's not folding a lot of hands that we raise to. Alright, board didn't pair up. We should be still good here. He could have 10-8. Could have a set. Okay, hit top pair, backdoor flush, backdoor. We've got a straight as well. Hit 2 pair. Set. Call at least once. Hopefully checks. It's a big bet. I'm gonna fold. Because we're pretty much just, what do you call it? Bluff catching in the end. Alright, we can snap this one off. Raises us. We don't got top pair, so we got fold. Although this time there is straight draws out there, but if you can see, most likely if he's chasing a straight, he's got there. Right, 4 cents got a call, but could be behind. Might have 3-2 as well. Alright. Usually I have one table that seems to, you know, lead the way. Save us a little bit. I'm going to fold. The board hadn't paired up, so we couldn't even go for full house. I'm going to check raise. He's going to have a lot of queen 10 in his range, top pair. Yeah. Sort of cancels out the other hand. So it's not the worst thing in the world when you lose to a set. Don't ever get too upset, especially if you can do that to your other opponents. Get to cancel each other out. And as you can see there, you can see his justification calling there, because maybe he's not even thinking that, but the board was a little bit wet as well, so I had 2 clubs, also 2 broadways, so, you know, an aggressive person, you know, that's got queen 10 will raise. But then saying that, you got to remember that the person raising you against your top pair has got a huge chunk of equity compared to your top pair. And that's why when you're playing multi-way putt, you're better off just folding out the way. Especially when someone has raised and then someone calling. You know, your top pair's already looking atrocious. Like, it's just absolutely way behind. It takes me back to my Jack 9 hand I played at the casino. Had Jack 9, you know, someone bet, someone 3-bet, I called. Jack 9-2 come out. You know, pretty much someone bet, someone raised, I shoved. And the person with ace jack was just way behind. Like, he had ace jack, top pair, top kicker, and way behind. So the overpair, there was pocket queens that called. I had 2 pair, and then on the flop, I had on the turn come out, and then I had the book. So, but I didn't even need the book to win the hand after all that. But it's just a scenario of, oh, I should have called, but out of position. Alright, so we've got 30 cents. It's the time's run out now. Anyway, yeah, ace 10, you could justify calling, but you could justify folding as well. Was suited. Was the really good flop, wasn't it? Especially if you had kings or queens. Because you got two pair. But even then, you probably won't get too much. You know, kings and queens will probably slow down with the ace on the board. So in saying that, you're probably not going to have that much. Unless he's got king, queen of hearts. And then the flush comes out, then you will get paid. That's why the ace suited rag hands are pretty good, because it leaves the king jack suited, king queen suited hands to pay your flush out. Top pair, get a better. Top pair, get a raise it. Just try and win the pot as early as possible. Dangerous card for everyone. We'll fold. We tried our luck there, but you just never know. Alright, try and get a spade, but we didn't get there. Now, for a spades would have been amazing as well. Would have had an open ender with the flush draw. So they're those cheeky little cards you've got to be willing to call on the flop, even though it looks like it doesn't really help you. It's quite deceiving. Ace queen in position. I'm not going to raise with ace 5 just to get the junk, to keep the junk in the hand. Do have an ace, so if he's got kings he might slow down, but he didn't, so he can fold out. Top pair, a lot of backdoor straights, backdoor flushes here. Hands like ace king's going to feel pretty bad here. We've got some backdoor flushes here as well. We could bluff a lot of turns. We could hit a lot of turns as well. Okay, got a call. Happy to fold this one out. Doesn't really help unless an ace comes out in the river. Need a 10. Hit the 6 though. But it's quite large. I'm going to fold. $0.03. I'm going to call the... Oh, okay. He had 2 pair. Okay, I got a gut shot. But the flush is out. Alright, we'll bluff this one. Queen 7's gone. Reason why we bluff this one, pot's not huge. He showed massive amount of weakness. When the ranges are tied up, they've got hands that can get sticky, and you know, medium pocket pairs just won't fold. Alright, I'm gonna fold here. Maybe you should have called the king. Because if he's got a hand like ace 10, he's got to slow down. It makes it easier for us just to call behind and win the hand. Okay, so hasn't shown anything there. Alright, we'll fold. But kings. If he's got ace queen, we're all over him. King's been good tonight. Folding. We've got queens. Probably should bet four big blinds from the small blind. That was another thing as well. Still uncapped. Alright, nice. Another one for queens. Queens have been pretty good as well. The only thing that's been probably our worst is, you know, being in these situations where we've been practicing bluffing and that. Okay, I've got bottom pair. If we hit the 3 again, if we bet here, hit the 3 again, we're going value town. That would be quite fun. I do enjoy those type of hands, but I'd rather be the 3 of hearts though, because then they're not our cards aren't dirty that way. I probably could have called, but with trying to chase the set. But the thing is, the straights do fill. A great hand. Could have bluffed him, I guess. They could have bluffed us that time, so it worked out. Alright, I'm gonna squeeze King Jack. Usually prefer Ace Jack, but what are you gonna do? Alright, we'll bet here. We've got the ace. We have the straight. We've got deceived hand here. Hopefully he shoves. He's got a hand like ace queen, he might actually go it. If he's got 2 pair, he might actually call. If he's got a set, he might call. Ace 9, wow, he actually called Ace 9. So he put us totally on a bluff. That is putting us in the green today. That is a big hand. That was an important one. So King Jack's deceiving as well. I didn't think of that, but okay, we have a straight. We've got 6-2. Which crazy person would have 6-2 there? So 8, 10, 15, so 18. So sitting back on 21 again, roughly. Alright, hit the straight. Deep stacked as well. We'll bet again. 2 pairs will call. Other person that can't fold an ace. Beautiful. What a good, just a good minute, the last minute. They showdown Berg a bet. Alright, so that means pretty much, because the last 10 minutes, all our learning of when to bluff has been paid for. So it's been free learning. Mind you, when you play high stakes, people do play different, but the cards are still the same. Just gotta remember your spots. It's like playing a Sudoku game, but you're playing at a different level. I could have value this. Might call for 9. You might have a queen as well. We might be in trouble, but sometimes I forget the value bet then. Because you've got, you've got those under pairs just directly under the top pair, which means all the other pairs will call, possibly. So we should bet here on the turn if we don't get any action. I'm actually going to raise it to running a bluff here. It didn't really make sense that they've got anything. Ooh, I wish he called, then we shoved the river. But yeah, it made no sense, so I thought defending the hand while we had it. Unless he's got a 6, but then if he calls, then we hit the 2. It was definitely going payday. Alright, hit a set of 3s. Unfortunately, he folds. The heat has continued now. Checks, we'll bet this one. We'll slow down. If it was a heart, we could continue. But because it wasn't, we sort of lost a few outs there. We didn't hit up any more equity. Yeah, I folded Jack 8 that time. Goes all in, we'll just fold. It's pretty much an easy hand to play post flop. You hit. This is actually not a bad board for us. Hitting some back doors. Yeah. Now we're finished unless with the ace. If he hit the 10, but the flush is out there already. Yeah, but the flush is already out, so can't be too angry at that board. A6 won the hand. Oh, never had a doubt. Is he gonna call? He's got 8s or 10s, maybe. Oh, maybe he's got the actual ace. Maybe he's got the actual fuck. What the actual fuck's he got? Yeah, he didn't value bet. See, second pair. Ooh, need a 5. He could easily have ace king here. Not so much now though. If he slows down, we're bluffing. Hit the ace. Value bet. Oh, he just folds. He made it easy. He didn't do anything there. This table. Wait a sec. I'm gonna leave this one. It's just bleeding money now. So is this one. I'm just gonna get rid of that one as well. And then just add another table. I've got a gut shot with a6. I'm hoping I can get a queen. It's probably optimistic though. Had some backdoors. Multi-way pots, I decided not to bluff. A high chance someone's slow playing. Pot already was quite big, you know, surprisingly big, so especially with 3 people calling pre-flop. He didn't 3-bet us, so he's going to be capped. This guy's uncapped, but we're going to call anyway. Wow, it just goes all in. We can get away with calling here with king 3. Call 12 cents. I mean, everyone's still in this hand unless he's already got, you know, quad aces now. He's not gonna be that excited. We can still have the best hand here, but don't be surprised to see a jack though. Yeah, jack. The other guy had our 8, unfortunately. Which means it was a lot harder to hit our set. Why do I do it to myself? I should just call and let variance take its place. Yeah, alright. We passed. Okay, check call scenario, backdoor flush. Second pair trying the hand. Gut shot. I need a 10. He's probably got a 10. Yeah. value bet this one. We could definitely have the best hand here. Unfortunately, folded. Probably got like a, yeah, just a pocket pair. Alright, I'm gonna close the sessions up now and just finish it up there. So I think we're just gonna go back to losing a bit. I'll finish this hand, see if we've got a set of nines, this could end up really on a good note. But yeah, no, he's betting 60. Alright, so we'll have a look. We're at $19, but remember we lost a lot with their bluffing. So now we're sitting at 21, 28. You know, roughly just $2 extra than what we had on the, you know, $2 on top of what we already got. 25, was it? I think it was about 28 cents cash back, which is the problem when you play 2NL. When you play 5NL, it seems to go up $1 or $2, and you know, a couple of dollars when you're playing 10NL. But when you're playing $2, 2NL, it's very slow going. So you know, we didn't really. We went up $2, I think, last week. I think we're at 85 something, 85.50 from memory, and then we got up to 87.78. So we got up to we just made about $2 something just for the cash back, which isn't great considering we were down a bit. But yeah, from going from there, we're giving ourselves to get another chance to get some C dollars. Just accumulate there and just practice some of our game. We're just relaxing at this stage, trying to you know, practice when to bluff, when not to, and then yeah, we're doing a lot of other things as well. So we'll be looking at more about small blinds. That's what we'll be looking at more. But I think the smaller pocket pairs, not the small pocket pairs, the small connectors, I'll probably just fold. But the Broadway connectors, I'll probably raise. We'll go with that. That was a really nice hand, King Jack. That was a monster hand. And he only had Ace 9, like, you know, top pair, okay kicker. And that was like huge. Like, I think it was like a $7 pot, $9 pot. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Catch you next time.